Libra, this is just to see what's in your general energy right now. These are obviously general readings, so take what works, and what doesn't work just doesn't work. But always remember, you are the master of your own destiny. But let's see what the cards have to say for you guys. In the basis of this reading, well, what the base of this reading is for you, you have the Empress. Your current energies, you have the Seven of Pentacles. Your near future, you have Death. Your challenge for this situation is the Ten of Swords reversed, and what's recommended for you is the Empress. So, the Empress is all about kind of abundance. It's about feeling very fulfilled in life. It's about having material things or wealth, or just having that feeling of kind of really being satisfied that you're able to pour your love and creativity into something and you're kind of growing something. So for some of you, this could be some type of relationship. It could be a project. It could be a business. It could represent anything that you really have this love towards and you're nurturing and makes you feel like you have abundance, or it makes you feel abundant. In your current energies, though, you have the Seven of Pentacles. So this to me indicates that something is taking a little bit of time. The Seven of Pentacles, the guy's kind of growing these pentacles, and it's not going fast. In fact, he might be a little frustrated. He's wondering, is it worth it? You know, these things are taking forever. But it's about growing something and nurturing something as well. So I think in your current energies, I wonder if some of you, whatever this Empress represents for you, maybe you're not getting the results as you had anticipated as quickly or as you would liked, or maybe you're getting kind of a little bit smaller results, but it's about still putting in the time. But this card always represents reevaluating the situation. Maybe there's a different way to do something that's going to be a little bit more effective for you, but it's always a reminder that, you know, sometimes things like, you know, like if someone's pregnant, you know, a lady's pregnant with a baby, it takes time for all the bits and pieces to kind of come together to form a human being. It doesn't happen just immediately. It takes time. So this could be your baby in a sense. This could be something that you're putting all the components in. You have to let it grow. It takes time. Sometimes things, you can only do so much, and then sometimes things have to develop on their own a little bit. Whether if you're doing some type of social media thing, you have to get traction within the social media. You know, people have to find you, or if it's a business, you have to find customers, or the customers have to find you. But so something might be feeling a little frustrating, but I don't see this as a bad card. I just think it's a card that just, it means it's you're in this mode right now where you're like, oh, I just want these things. You want to just get some miracle grow and douse it all over the whatever situation this is. But in your near future, you have Death. So something is transitioning. There's definitely some type of transition. Now this transition, and this is a big transition. So this to me could represent, you might decide to move something in a different way regarding this Empress energy here. There might be something that through your Seven of Pentacles where you're analyzing, because I always see this guy as kind of analyzing the process as well, because he's planted the fruit, the pentacles, whatever. He's waited, he's analyzing, he's probably knowing every time like a raccoon or a bunny, you know, he probably has a PowerPoint or an Excel spreadsheet that determines like, you know, what time the birds come or whatever's comes, the mice or whatever, what kind of bugs everything is. So to me, this guy's very in tune with the process itself. And I wonder if some of you have had some traction within your Empress, within your baby that you're trying to nurture, whatever that might be for you. And you're wondering, or you're evaluating, is there a better way to do something? And the Death could indicate that you might be switching that up, and it might actually be a very good thing for you, because this is like you transitioning. So when one door closes, another one opens. So you might be doing something, I'm not saying drastically different, but you might be really changing something with this that actually is going to open a door much larger for you regarding this situation. So I think that's very, very positive. Something's shifting up, or you're going to figure out a different way, and it's actually just going to be so much better for you. But with the Ten of Swords here reversed, your challenge is staying stuck in the ways you might be thinking or doing something. So that is your challenge. This could indicate that whatever you're doing with the Seven of Pentacles, how you're working or you're growing or you're nurturing your little baby, whatever this is, human, non-human, machine, business, idea, concept, art, whatever your little baby here is, you might be doing something in a certain kind of way with the Seven of Pentacles, and you're kind of doing it almost like the same way. And I think you need to shift something up, because this is saying that your challenge is to shift something up. You might be able to see how to do it in a completely different way. What I would recommend, depending on what your situation is, see what your competition is doing. See how they're doing it. See what works for them, what doesn't work for them, and then just try different things. Because I think sometimes you can kind of blend a bunch of ideas together, and sometimes they don't work initially, but if you know something's a good idea, you definitely keep that. It doesn't mean that, like, whatever idea you have now doesn't mean that you can't do this in the future. Sometimes you have to get traction a little bit and figure certain things out, and then you can merge and incorporate all different things together. Jessie, honey, please, can you please stop doing that, honey? Thank you. You might have to merge and incorporate everything together. So your challenge is to actually... Sorry, guys. I realized, like, I wasn't even recording with my microphone. Luckily, I'll have the camera mic. Hopefully you can hear. Yeah, you know what? This is not a perfect channel. This is definitely not a perfect situation over here. But let's just, hopefully the audio is a little bit better going forward. But anyway, okay, I know, Jessie. Now calm down, mister. So anyway, so now what's recommended for you is the Empress. So this is saying that you need to still, like, nurture your baby. You need to be in this creative aspect, this nurturing aspect, and don't give up hope, because some of you might be getting a little frustrated right now, and you're almost like giving up hope or thinking that this isn't going to work out. But I think the Empress showing up again is like, no, 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 your baby is going to be perfect. It's worth doing. It's worth investing your time, resources, money, whatever into. And you just need to figure out a better way around it, or there might be like a shortcut or some kind of different thing you can incorporate in. But it's definitely still saying, keep trying it. Let's see what else we get for you guys. Okay, so first up, you have Beaver Spirit, lay a solid foundation. And I really think that this, bless you, Jessie. Sorry, the dog sneezed. This is you laying a solid foundation. I really think with the Seven of Pentacles that you are trying to do the details to make this thing grow. And within that, you're probably assessing the situation. You might be getting a little frustrated, but I definitely think there's probably a better way to do something, a roundabout way to do something. And so you just need to lay the solid foundation. But once you have that foundation, it's going to be easier to build upon, and it'll be easier to expand upon. Then you have Eagle Spirit. Spirit has your back. And I think this is just saying that, you know, you definitely, what you're doing now, I think it's something that really is going to benefit you. I think it's something that you really enjoy, and you just have to have faith in yourself and have faith that you're being guided to do it. Because for some of you, you might just have this gut feeling or this intuition, or this could even represent something that you're just very passionate about, and you might not know really how to go about it or what you're going to do with it, but it's just something that keeps kind of, I don't want to say it's plaguing you. Like it's it's a flesh-eating virus. It's just eating at you and you want to try it out. But I kind of feel like that. I kind of feel like it's something that if you don't really try it out and really, really try it out, I think you're going to regret it. But it's definitely something that needs to be nurtured. So this is kind of some type of energy from taking something that's either a small idea or a small little being or whatever it is and actually growing it into something much larger. So there's a lot of care, there's a lot of nurturing, and there's a lot of patience that's going to be involved with that as well. Then you have selenite, whatever. Clear the clutter. And this clutter could be, I wonder for some of you with the Seven of Pentacles, if you're kind of not fully streamlined in the process, whatever this is, you probably could streamline a little bit better. So maybe the clutter could even be in your mind. It could even be other people kind of giving their 2 cents that, nobody really asked for. That could be the clutter. It could be you're doubting yourself, could be the clutter. It could be mental clutter. It could be kind of physical clutter. It could just even indicate, like I know with me that like this desk has to be ready for me to do this or I'll never do it. Like there was a time that I was thinking, okay, maybe if I do this, maybe I could actually have 2 cameras and one of the cameras I could be on camera. But then part of me was like, you know what? You're going to have to like put a bra on when you do this. You're going to have to like comb your hair and put a bra on. Because sometimes I do this when I have a day off. And when I have a day off, like I'm just like not into the whole underwear thing. Like it's not happening. If I don't have to leave the house, I'm not with all that. I'm like a goth hippie out here. But anyway, but for me, actually having to like put the bra on would be clutter. It makes it harder, even though it's not really hard. It doesn't like, maybe I'll eventually do this on camera or whatever as well, but it's not like totally insane. But in my mind, I'm like, oh. So whatever, any hindrances or any things that makes you kind of not be able to jump right into something, that's kind of clutter in a sense. So, okay. And then you have talking. Interested, conversing more, awaited messages arrives, text, call, email, hovering. Now, awaited message arrives. Now the hovering though, I kind of feel like the hovering is potentially you hovering around the same way that you're doing something. Because even with the Ten of Swords reversed, this being your challenge of maybe not trying to release old baggage or trying to release old ways of doing something, then that would be like you're still hovering around the thing that you're not really letting go and you need to let go. The Death is here to say that you need to let go and you need to move forward. But interested here, I think this is saying that you have a real interest in this. I definitely think you're interested. And I wonder if conversing more could mean that maybe there's things that you can watch even on YouTube or even other people that you can talk to. Because whatever this is, there's probably a community that is devoted to this. There's a community for everything these days. So maybe there's something, you can kind of reach out to somebody within a certain community and kind of get some information. Or even sometimes you can watch other things, but the way they do certain things like marketing or the way they do their social media, even if it's a different type of community, you could still kind of, absorb certain tricks or ways some people who are experiencing some success are doing things, and you can maybe kind of maybe that's a way of learning and helping you streamline this a little bit more, helping you get through death's door a little faster. Pay attention to the red flags. The signs are cautioning you. And then you have romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. And I really feel like for you guys, this Empress, because you got it twice, I think this is saying that your feelings regarding this little baby, whatever this is for you, are worth exploring and it's worth doing. But I think paying attention to the red flags would be that every time you do certain things, maybe you're not getting quite the great results, or maybe there's a different way to do something. So you just have to be a little bit more, I don't want to say mindful, but you have to be a little bit more aware or analytical potentially. Because sometimes when something's your baby, you see it through like eyes of love, but you're not necessarily seeing it through like the business savvy kind of eyes, so you might have to have a little bit more of like the logic or the other aspect coming into this. Still it is your baby, you still have to see it like that, but you might have to have like a little bit more of the other brain coming in as well to do some of the tasks that might not be as creative or loving towards this. You know, like let's say if you're not really into the whole like marketing or kind of sales, if this is something that could have some type of sales need or something, there might be things that you can figure out. Now, you have solar plexus. Jesse, he's not talking to you, honey. He's not talking to you. He's not talking to you. He's not talking to you. He's talking to the dog down the street, honey. You don't have to give him your 2 cents. Come on. Jesse? I know. It's upsetting. I know. Okay. Honey, that's enough. That's enough, sweetheart. Okay. Now, next up, we have solar plexus chakra manifestation. Manifestation is the fruition of confidence and belief. And this is just you having to believe in yourself, believe that what you're doing, you're going to get results and it is worth doing. So you just have to have like a positive mindset for this. And you have the dark. Take a moment to sit under the star-speckled sky, listening to the crickets and breathing in the cool night air. And I feel like if you're a little stressed out, sometimes just kind of, I don't want to say blanking out, but just kind of like not really having to be involved in anything could be really beneficial. And sometimes the dark, I find it very comforting because it's a time like, I'm not receiving emails. I'm not receiving phone calls. I don't have to worry about this. I don't have to worry about that. Like at nighttime, everybody's sleeping pretty much. So if I'm going to relax, it's going to be then because there's nothing really pressing at that moment that has to get done. So this could just be if you feel like you're very stressed out, if you go sit in the backyard or wherever, sit somewhere, obviously it's safe somewhere, and you know, just look at the stars or something and just kind of let your mind wander or not focus on your problems at the moment. That could be kind of refreshing. And then for your little affirmation card, you have, today I am persistent. Today, nothing will stop me from accomplishing my goals. Nothing will stand in the way of my happiness. And I think this is really saying that you need to be persistent with this little baby, whatever the hell this thing is for you. You need to be persistent with it. You still need to be nourishing it and like creative and doing whatever you're doing. And when things are not going as quickly as you would like, you still have to be persistent. I think with this death, I think you're going to be going through some type of transformation with this, or somehow this is going through a very important transformation. So, but you need to let something go. You need to kind of know what's hindering you or holding you back and move forward with that. And for some of you, it might even be self-doubt. This could be feeling that you're not capable enough. This could be anything. For some of you, this could even represent, like, let's say if you want to go into a certain field, but you need to go back to school and you're like, oh, I don't want to go back to school. That could represent this. And then you going back to school would be you transitioning from one aspect to another, you know? So it definitely, for some of you, take that how that is. So it definitely could be that you feel like, or you may need a certain certification or degree or whatever, and you're kind of resisting it a little bit. You're like, oh, I don't know. And it might be the way you have to go. And there's a lot of options now out there. You know, there's schools online that is all online, and it's just so much more convenient. That's what I'm doing. Cause like, I'm not going, I'm not like, I don't know. I just need it to work in my time. So that's what I did, and now I'm back there again because I'm just one of those weirdos that probably will be going for something or another. It's like a hobby now. It's like a hobby that I'm miserable with, but I don't know. I just find some kind of weird enjoyment with it anyway. It's good to keep the mind going, you know, learning new things. So anyway, so that's really positive. Now you have the flower doesn't dream of the bee. It blossoms and the bee comes. So I think this is saying that I think with whatever this is that you're involved in, your little baby, I'm going to call it your baby, I just think that you have to continue to nourish it and maybe not have so much expectations, because I wonder if some of you are feeling a little frustrated with whatever, because it could be slow going, but you're focusing on the wrong things with it potentially. So maybe some of this has to be letting go of certain expectations. Like even with the Ten of Swords reverse, maybe there's certain expectations with this that we're not quite right, or we're like maybe a little too I don't want to say large, but maybe initially they weren't quite right, or you have to kind of let go of certain things and just continue doing what you're doing. And I think you'll gain some traction, because this is with the Empress recommended. This is like definitely saying you continue with this, but maybe don't focus on certain results as much, in a sense. Okay, so now Bob Ross, let's see what he has to say for you. Now then, let's wash the old brush. That's the fun part of this whole technique. Okay, shake off the excess and just beat the devil out of it. And I think this is you with the Ten of Swords having to leave something behind or move forward with something and stepping through death's door. That's you washing off the old brush, beating the devil out of it, and being like, okay, I'm ready to kind of transform this and push this forward. Now, for your next little thing, we have the divine in me honors the divine in you. Dang. And it says, namaste, bitches. And I think I love this one. I think this is just you trying to find your peace. And even with whatever this is, because this is your baby, I'm sure you have some people in your life that maybe, I don't want to say naysayers, but unfortunately it happens quite a bit. And sometimes you have to just be namaste, bitches. If somebody's kind of pissing you off a little bit, or getting in your head, or telling you a bunch of BS or whatever, you just namaste, bitches, namaste. So sometimes you just have to have that kind of attitude and kind of keep pushing forward. Now, for your little stress relief and self-care card, we have mindful walking objective. Putting your cares aside and focusing on the moment. Find some time to take a mindful walk, ideally somewhere with some green space. As you walk, don't think about anything else. Focus on your environment. Touch the foliage, smell the flowers or plants, and notice the sound of your feet hitting the pavement. Tune out all distractions, like your cell phone or having a conversation with someone, and reconnect with your natural surroundings and notice how good this practice makes you feel. Now, for some of you, if you're like living in the city or whatever, just go to Home Depot or whatever, you know? I love like walking through the plants section at Home Depot. So just touch the foliage at the Home Depot. Just touch the plants. See how that makes you feel. But you really could do this anywhere, you know, wherever you live. I'm sure there's something that you can kind of, even if it's like rocks or something, you can just like really observe all the rocks, the kind of formations and everything, maybe the sand or whatever. So you don't need foliage to make this work. It's just being mindful of your surroundings and being mindful of kind of the natural aspects surrounding you and just kind of clearing your head. So this is really, really nice. Now, for the spirit of the dish that shall be with you during this time, you have the spirit of the duo, which is the spirit of the peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I just launched that one. Hold on a second. Where did that even go? Okay, I found it. It actually was much easier to find than I originally thought it was going to be. So, now for your dinner and a movie, you have Chinese food and horror movies. For the energies that you either need to tap into or be aware of at this time, you have Leo, and this is all about ego, individuality, and confidence, and kind of taking pride in the things that you do. And then you have Cancer here, which is about your emotions and habits. You have this little devil guy here is Mercury, and this is all about thoughts and communication. And then you have Venus, and this is about love, money, and powers of attraction. So you got like a lot of love stuff here. So definitely this is something that you love, but I think you need to take pride in it. And I think this kind of hits you in the feels a little bit. So now for your houses, you have the second house, which represents money, possession, your environment, and your self-esteem. And then you have the third house, which represents communication, intellect, communities, and relationships. And for the special guest, they'll be answering your question today, Libras. You have number 5, and that means the magic 8 ball will be out here shortly. So think of those questions. KUMSWGU, and you didn't get any numbers, so I see an 8 here, a 2, and a 4 is on top. So then there you guys go, 8, 2, 4. So you get some numbers. Okay, and then we have you have the little unicorn, and this is just saying I think this is saying that, like a unicorn, it's kind of a horse, but it's not a horse because it has a horn on it. So it becomes a magical unicorn. So I think sometimes you just have to have that energy. Sometimes you just got to put a magic horn on something and it becomes your like magical item. For some of you, this idea might feel a little bit, I don't want to say dreamy, but it might feel like it's in a realm where, is it really tangible? Will you actually really achieve it? Is it possible? And I definitely think it's definitely possible because, I mean, this is a horse. At the end of the day, this is like a horse that just somehow grew an extra appendage. So it's definitely possible. You just have to kind of transform this in some way and it's going to become reality. I don't think it's anything out of the scope of it. I think there's definitely a way to kind of make this expand the way that you want it to expand. So I think the unicorn being here is about you chasing your dreams, you kind of just standing out, maybe doing something a little different. Sometimes you got to just be a little unicorn. And I think that's really great. And I think this is also saying you got to come playful at something because unicorns are kind of fun. They're just playful beings. So you might have to bring a little bit more fun to this situation or kind of remind yourself, if you've gotten to a point where you're kind of dull and frustrated with the Seven of Pentacles, remind yourself like why you even started this to begin with. Why did you start doing this? Why is this your baby? Why is this something that you want to expand and really put your energy? Why do you believe in this? And sometimes when you just remind yourself those things, you can kind of bring that energy back, that kind of magic, that spark, that initial creative idea for this. So that's great. Now, let's see with this little guy. And you have peace. And I think for some of you, this could be, because you also, what was it? The mindful walking is about peace and the namaste bitches here is about peace. So for some of you, you just might need to kind of, I really feel with the Ten of Swords, whatever you're holding on to, you just might need to let go or surrender or something, or just really embrace some type of change. Sometimes change is a little scary and it's a little uncomfortable, but I just think there's something that needs to be done, that needs to be transformed here, that's going to help you walk through death's door much quicker. Because that's really positive. That means transition and everything. Like you're not transitioning to being dead, but you're transitioning into like closing one door, opening something better for you. So I definitely think that's a door you want to be walking right through. So, but there might be some type of even peace within, because I wonder for some of you, if you really envision this in a certain kind of way and you're starting to realize that the way you planned it or envisioned it might not be quite the way it's going to be or wind up. And I wonder if some of you are holding on to the old concept, but you're starting to kind of realize the new concept here. And this is recommended that you just embrace the new concept. And it doesn't have to be a whole different idea or whatever it is. It just could be a different aspect of the situation. But keep putting your energy into it because I definitely think it's worth doing. So, okay, now it is time. Here he is. Think of those questions, Libra, and we will ask. Oh, mystical, magical 8-ball, the mightiest ball of all the balls in the world. What is the answer to Libra's question? It says, ask again later. Okay, so he might be trolling or I don't know. Maybe this is kind of up in the air because maybe he's still waiting for you to release whatever this is, depending on what your question is. And once you do that, there'll be a better answer to your question because maybe your question is going to be a little different in the near future and you don't realize it yet. But the 8-ball knows because he's connected to the higher ups. He knows it all. Okay, I hope you all have a wonderful day, week, month, year, lifetime, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.